buildinggreenwichct.com.
Take one. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Building Greenwich, and welcome if it's your first time. This is a podcast all about Greenwich, Connecticut, the town where we live, the community that we're in. I am one of your hosts, Lindsay Potter, here with Scott Elwell.
Hello.
Good morning, Scott. And this morning we have a special guest, someone from our community that we were dying to learn more about. Her name is Dee Hernandez. She's the executive director of the River House Adult Daycare Center right here in Cos Cob, Connecticut. Welcome, Dee.
Thank you. Good
Welcome,
morning.
Dee.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good
I'm excited.
morning. We love Fridays.
Yeah,
Fridays
especially
are
when
the
it's so
best.
nice outside.
It's you know, this is as we get older, we talk about the weather.
I do too all the time.
So, and any plans I make, I have to check
Weather and
the weather.
traffic. That's all
Yeah,
my
weather and
parents talk
traffic.
about.
What are you doing today? Well, let me check the weather.
Let me check
And
yes, I think that's that. And they were talking about there was a bunch of signs of like when you're aging, the things that now you're worried about. One of the things was like shopping at Costco's, buying clothes at Costco's, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Stop those.
guilty,
So guilty.
I'm like, they have the best slippers, and check out this.
I got
rain
jeans at Costco.
Oh my God, they have the best
I told
jeans. They
everybody
have the
about it.
best jeans.
they have the best. Listen,
I love
well,
Costco's.
I did read somewhere that when you've hit rock bottom when you're buying your clothes at Costco. I disagree.
I disagree too.
I
they
think
have great
Kirkland has
stuff.
really high
Kirkland,
standards.
Yes, they're the best. I am like Kirkland.
And sometimes you just need an extra pair of jeans to throw on.
But they have
it's
great
fun
stuff.
walking around showing, like, I've got Costco or Amazon jeans
Yeah.
to my friends that have all the fancy crap.
My dad's
Oh,
a
yeah.
big,
So I'm like,
big fan.
I love Costco. I love Amazon. So yeah,
I know.
And BJ's can't compete with Costco's.
Well, thankfully we don't
wardrobe,
have
but-
one of those around here
Oh, there's no
anymore.
BJ's in.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
No, it's a little
Like
different.
Costco and BJ's isn't.
A little
No.
different.
We also don't have Walmart anymore.
Wait, Costco, BJ's, and Sam's. I mean,
They're
it's all.
but
Similar.
they're a little different. Like for me, Costco's. I like to go to Costco's if I want to get their bakery department is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And then like a lot of the fruit and stuff. I like it from Costco's. If I go to BJ's, I prefer their meats. I don't like the
Okay.
fruit.
Where's
Yeah.
BJ's?
So you're an
I live
expert
in
here.
I'm in New York.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
BJ's and a Costco's right by me. I'm in Westchester.
I
And
love that
some-
you pluralize it. Now I'm going to start calling it Costco's.
Costco's.
They're my-
There's a lot of them, so they're Costco's.
They are.
But I remember
true.
a
There
friend
are
of
so
mine.
many.
A friend of mine was telling me for like big events, and they've got the budget to hire whomever. They're like, oh yeah, we buy all the meat at Costco.
Oh, yeah.
because the turn through. He's like, it's fresher than
It's very
Whole
fresh.
Foods.
Most
It's very
restaurants
fresh.
and catering companies source from there.
But the
Yeah.
turnover's so fast.
Right.
That it's fresher
always
than
fresh, yeah.
than,
Well, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just
Whole
like
Foods.
their. I mean, we're doing an ad for Costco right now,
Yes,
but
we
that's
are.
also like all of the products that they bring in. They go through a rigorous process of approvals before they sell anything under the Costco name or Kirkland brand. So
And if
And-
somebody from Costco wants to reach out to us, for
seriously, we're
sponsorship,
here for you.
Sponsorship.
We're here.
We're
And,
here for
and
you,
their return,
Costco.
their return policy is just like can't be beat.
No, it can't.
I one time just again we're talking about Costco's, but at one time I went in and I was waiting online to return
Costco's.
something. Costco,
the
Costco,
plural.
and someone was returning a safe, and it looked like
A safe?
a safe, and it looked like they had blown it up first because I guess they bought it, couldn't open it again after they put their stuff in.
Get the M80s.
And they blew it up, and they returned it on a gurney. Blown up, and I was just like, "Are they serious?" And I told the super. I was with someone, and I was like, "Are you gonna take that back?" She's like, "We take everything back."
Okay.
Game changer.
Yep. I'm gonna
Have
go
you
buy
seen
a
the- There's
safe.
an Instagram about that.
Yeah,
They're
they'll
like-
take anything.
Yeah, I've got used underwear.
Half-eaten
I've
strawberry, they'll take it back. like
Oh, you didn't like it?
used underwears, they'll take it back.
Oh,
It doesn't
God.
matter. So yeah.
All right. Well, so I mean, obviously we love Costco. So let us just dive into talking about the River House. Now, I personally actually have never been in the River House. I know
no.
I'm embarrassed to say that, but I've never been in. I drive by it. I've driven by it. I don't know how many times in my life. Way
around
too
the
many
corner.
times. It's right around the corner. It's a beautiful spot right on the river.
So beautiful.
And I also have parked there because there's an ice cream shop there, so I take my kids there. So what is the
Yeah,
River House?
I appreciate the parking because I've
Guilty
done
Me
that.
too.
I've done that too.
Now I know who's taking
between
our parking
Joey
spots.
B's and who's on the corner?
Mike's organic.
No, on the corner with the ice
Oh,
cream store.
Nueva.
Oh yeah, Villanueva.
Villanueva.
Best Italian food. Between those three spots and the parking, it's great. But I always feel badly. Like, is this parking for the River House? Who parks
Well,
here?
we have humongous like painted signs that say River House at each parking spot
Right.
that's ours. So the ones that have that big logo on it, those are our spots.
I've
The
never
rest
parked there.
belong to. I'm gonna check the cameras.
I'm right next to the car. I mean, nobody seems to be caring.
For us, I mean, I think it's not a huge issue when it's like quick in and out.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's days when we have, especially like in the afternoons, when we have a lot of families coming in to pick up caregivers and they park to come in, or if we're having a board meeting or an event, we need all the spots. So it's not really always an issue. I mean, obviously we don't want to encourage people to park there because we do need the spots, but a quick in and out is not going to be, I'm not going to come running out with you're in my spot. I won't do that. I promise.
I'm getting ice cream at like 6 p.m. So it's,
we're closed. We're closed. You're good.
Right.
Good.
So you are the executive director at the River House. Yes, congratulations. That's a big title and it's a big job, I know. So tell us about what you do and then what the River House is, because most people that don't know would like to know.
I'll start with River House. River House is a medical model adult day center. So we provide services to individuals that are suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia, or any kind of cognitive impairment. It's for adults, so there's no age. If you're 21 and you've had some type of cognitive impairment and need a place to go to socialize, to receive care or assistance, River House is a great place for you. If you're 104 and you
God
are,
bless.
yes, God bless. And we have our median age is 83. We do have some members, or we have had members that are in their 40s. We've had some that are very high, up to 100, 102. We provide services to everyone. And one of the staff always says, everyone that comes to River House comes for a reason. And we cater to those reasons. So for some people, they're at home. Social isolation is a big issue. Yeah. For others, it's, they need incontinence care, or they need help with bathing, or their family's worried about them getting hurt at home alone all day. Yeah. And this is a great place for them to come and socialize. We have activities and it's just you walk in and you feel the vibe of River House is just so full of love and care, and the staff are amazing. We play lots of games, and there's a lot of, we want to make sure we keep their minds and their bodies engaged. So there's like a lot of physical activities going on. We play volleyball, noodle ball, beer pong without the beer, which they love.
Wait, but they're old enough. I mean,
I know. Some of them are like, can we get some? Yeah, we're like, no beer at River House. But we play lots of games with them. Tricky. There's puzzles, there's trivia, there's painting, there's art, music.
So can they stay all day?
They can stay all day. We're open from 8:30. Well, the staff get there about 8 o'clock to start setting up. We serve a light breakfast, lunch, and then a snack on the way out. So we're open from 8:30 to about 3:30. Our last participant is kind of heading out. We have 2 buses, so we do pickups in Greenwich and in Stamford. Pick up and drop off door to door. We have we're a medical model, so we have nurses on staff that provide medication management. They monitor vitals. They kind of assess and keep track of the progression of whatever.
And the nurses that are on staff, are they full-time on staff with you? Yes. Or is this time between other jobs?
We're full-time. We have one full-time nurse who's there Monday through Thursday. And then we have a part-time nurse who's there Thursday through Friday. So, but they're there all day. Okay. So we have all the staff is full-time. We have 3 health aides, an Alzheimer's, a senior Alzheimer's aide, a senior health aide, and a regular health aide. Right. And they provide 95% of the services. They sit with the clients. They provide they help them with their meals. They provide baths. They help them with grooming. They engage with them, play games. It's just to watch. I myself am a caregiver. My grandmother is older. My father lives with me, and having the same experience as a lot of these families, I understand how difficult it is to be at work all day. I have 2 small children also, so I'm kind of in this sandwich generation where I have my father and my kids, my grandparents, and I'm trying to juggle all of these things. And I really understand how hard it is for these families to have to deal with their own families that they've created, but then also having to take care of their loved ones. And they work, and they're, a lot of people are not able to stay home, and they're in, they have their careers, and they're worrying about their loved one who they left at home alone. And what am I going to find when I get back? So, I say River House is great for our participants, but it's an amazing place for the caregivers because it gives them an opportunity to know that they're putting their loved one in a place where they're going to receive care and love,
and they feel safe,
and they're safe, and they can go to work and do the things they want to do without feeling guilty about them sitting at home sitting in front of the TV all day.
Right.
So it's I could drop up my mother in the morning, go do my thing, come back and pick her
up, or we could drop her off and we can pick her up.
Oh, really?
That
so
works
you
better.
do?
They have this
buses.
if she's in Greenwich or if she's in Greenwich or in Stanford, we do have the buses.
Were you listening?
He missed that part.
I'm getting back to logistics. I got the buses, but I'm focused on the logistics. No, I mean, I also want to know when you do beer pong, what's in the cup?
Nothing. It's just empty.
Can you put water in there?
I play. I don't drink anymore. I play with water.
Play with
exactly.
water. Yeah. We just leave it empty, and they just they pop it in. And we play a lot of bocce ball, which gets really contentious. Do not mess around with a bunch of older adults that are playing bocce because they take it seriously. Yeah. And we have baseball Tuesdays. They play baseball. We do belly dancing, which is my office is right outside of the area.
We need to come.
You got to come for belly dancing because it is like being at Studio 54.
I'm not allowed to dance. Sorry.
You will learn.
No.
There's a lot of movement going on, but it is just like the laughter, and then the way that
that's awesome.
The River House is set up. We're like kind of 2 levels, and there's like a open area so you can hear what's going on both floors, and you just hear the laughter just echoing through the building,
awesome.
and it's just heartwarming, and I
it's
can't say enough.
It's also so nice to have that in our community. And for people to be able to come from Stanford, from Greenwich, how far out can people come from?
They can come from wherever if they can get there on their own. So we have clients that are coming from Rye Brook, other parts of Upper Westchester. Their families bring them and drop them off. We have some families.
And you have buses again? Sorry.
2. We have 2 really nice buses. So we anyone that can get there can come. So there's no like catchment area where you have to live within this area to come. We do have Stanford residents. We have a couple people from Darien and New Canaan, and they their families. Their families work in Manhattan,
right.
So they on their way down drop them off, head to work, and then pick them up on the way back, or whatever. So it's a convenient location,
right?
It's beautiful. Like you said, we're right on the river. This past month we've had eagles like nesting on the river, and they're just like, you're standing there, all of a sudden they swoop by. It's so majestic, and you're like,
cool.
I feel like I'm in National Geographic.
They really
are
awesome. Gigantic.
They're just so beautiful, and you see them swooping down and getting their prey, and it's just, we have a fish ladder that's run by the town, and so they come around to. They're watching. I mean, these animals are so smart, and they're standing there watching to see when the water's low. We have like raccoons and other animals that come to.
You're right. You're right by the waterfall. I mean,
that's our view. So we have some beautiful views, and even on a cloudy day, just the river and the water glistening.
It's just
It
peaceful.
looks like, it looks like National
peaceful.
Geographic. So I'm like, I feel like I'm in a movie.
Well, and for people driving on the post road, you're right by the waterfall going to the Cos Cob Inlet.
So we're right next to it. So you can't, when you're driving by, you can see like the top of the building, a little bit of the signage, and some of the parking lot. But when you come around River Road Extension and you turn in, that's when you can really see the whole thing. We have a great patio. We're actually trying to go back to before we used to rent out the space on weekends and after hours. So we're trying to move back into doing that because it's such a great space that the community could be using for baby showers or lectures or events. And so we're going to try to move back in that direction of making it more of a community. It is a town building. So we want to be able to allow the town to utilize it. And we were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier, but we're trying to figure out what our plan is going to be moving forward with fundraising. And, we're 100%.
Well, that's my next question.
How does that work?
Donations.
Right. So funding, and then do clients pay? I mean,
clients pay. We do have a fee for service. We're a fee for service program. But we have a sliding scale, and we base a lot of it on income. So there are grants and subsidies in place throughout the town and the state that we can access for those that have limited income or have those type of needs. So we have an amazing admissions administrator, and she's kind of the director of programs. She does a little bit of everything. She's amazing, and she meets with the family. She sits down. She does a full assessment of what the needs are, what the participants' needs are, and then also just to see, are we a good fit for them? Are they a good fit for us? Because if they need more care than what we can give, we want to make sure that we're very upfront with that from the beginning, so they're not enrolling them and then we're saying, they need a little bit more than we can do. So there's a full assessment that's done. There's ongoing assessments every 6 months, every year, with the nurse, with the admissions coordinator. There's lots of conversations that are happening. We try to be very transparent and very vocal with the families about what our concerns, things we see happening, improvements, digressions. We make sure that we're always in contact with the families so they know what's going on, and they become part of the River House family. They're the caregivers, the clients, and it's such a if my family was closer, I keep telling my dad, you'd be at River House, and he's like, I'm not, I'm not that. I don't need River House. And I'm like, but it's a place. He has no socialization.
Well, so I just actually wrote this down to ask you, but so many elderly people, whether or not they have cognitive issues, are really lonely. They are alone. Some are widowed. I'm speaking from experience that I know these people. Can they just have a day drop in at River House?
I mean, there are lots of programs in Greenwich that provide, that kind of like, if you just need some socialization. If they came to River House and they thought that it was a good fit for them based on whatever needs, we definitely would make an assessment. If we feel that they're maybe very high functioning and this is not really appropriate place, we would let them know that as well, and we would refer them to one of our sister agencies or one of the other community partners, and we work very closely with those community partners to make sure that we're referring to each other.
So that's like a Nathaniel Witherall?
That would be very like it's
like
nursing.
after.
That's kind of after. So
like as they need more help.
At home in Greenwich might be a great option where like, you just need a little bit of socialization, but you're very high function. You're still driving. You're still
There's a new place on Mason Street called Elderhood, I believe it's called. They're new within the past year, but I think that's more catered to.
So we would make those referrals.
The typical River House person, they sign up for a month, or like how does that work?
We ask them to commit to at least 2 days a week. It's difficult when they're coming in especially if they have Alzheimer's, dementia. That constant change becomes very difficult for them. So they need a little more stability. So we try to make sure that they come in at least twice a week. Some come 5 days a week.
And do they purchase like a package? Do they pay?
Well, they kind of pay as they go.
I didn't know if it was like a year long.
But we ask them to commit to 2 weeks. 2 days. I'm sorry, 2 days a week. They can come 5 days. They can come 2 days. It depends on the need. For some, 5 days a week is too much. It's just sensory overload. And for others, they what am I doing at home? I'd rather be at River House. So we have a handful that come every day, and we have a handful. We kind of separate the groups into higher functioning and lower functioning. So the ones that need more attention and one-on-one care, we separate them out during our activity sessions. So we'll have like bocce happening upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs is kind of the rowdy, like, woohoo, we're having that group, and then we have the party the quieter,
but
kind
no
of
alcohol
calmer, no alcohol in the beer pong, and then we have like the quieter kind of like lower functioning ones that don't like it's we can't do the overstimulation with them. So we have them in a separate room, and they're also playing bocce and doing the same things with staff, kind of guiding them and helping them. Oh, it's your turn, throw the ball, you got to hit the little white one, more direction. Where the group downstairs is kind of like they're doing their own thing, and they're yelling and carrying on, having a good old time. So we assess the need ongoing as they're there, and figure out where they need to be and put them in the right places.
That's awesome.
And pair them up, because a lot of them come in and they're, they've dealt with loss. Some of them have lost their spouse, a friend, their caregiver,
all of their friends,
a lot of their friends. So they're dealing with loss, and now they're coming in and they're becoming part of a new community, and they're making new friends. So we try to make sure that we pair people up. We have a couple that are like our ambassadors. When we have new people come in, we're like, all right, we're going to sit you down with this person or with that person. We know that you guys kind of have similar interests, and we go from there, and we kind of move them around. Some of them, this is my seat, this is where I sit. I only sit next to it, like it's a lot of that. So it's interesting to see. Sometimes it feels a little bit like we're in like high school, which is fun. I
was just thinking, like, there are seasons of life where you are in a season of making friends. It's much easier when you're young because everyone's doing it, and then the older you get, when you have if you have kids, you make new friends through their friends at school, the parents, and then as you age, as you get older, you're kind of set in your ways, but also want to make new friends as you evolve as a person. You want different people in your life. But, I've never really thought about, obviously I'm not in my 80s, but I've never really thought about what that would look like.
You never know. And some of them are still, I before coming to Greenwich and to River House, I was the director of a senior center in Manhattan and Washington Heights. And, the seniors itself, we don't call them seniors in New York. It's older adults. We don't use the term seniors anymore. So
interesting.
Older adults.
Okay.
So the older adults would come in, and we spanned the ages were from 60 was the minimum age for enrollment in the senior center, up until 102, 3. And so we had the same kind of similar situation where we had like the type A's that were like super high functioning. They were out there, they were dating, they were traveling, they were doing all this stuff. And then we had like the older ones that just kind of wanted to come in and listen to music. They would come for lunch. They wanted more slow paced. And the shenanigans that happened at the senior center, and they wanted to continue to live. And they always stressed, we're older, but we're not dead.
Right.
Like, we're here to still enjoy life and live and do things. We take them on lots of trips and we do lots of things. So that kind of senior center population is not our population. We're not moving that fast.
Okay.
But coming from the senior center, you asked me a little bit before about like who I am in my history.
Yeah. What's your? Let's stepping back for a second. What's high level chapters of you, and how did you get here?
Ooh, high levels. Okay, so I have a bachelor's in forensic psychology and a master's in public administration. So both from John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Go CUNY. And
awesome.
I mean, it was an amazing school. It was amazing classes, amazing professors, all like professionals working in the field. So the level of education that I received there at this CUNY school in the middle of the city was just like, I mean, I couldn't have asked for more. I realized very early on that I didn't want to work in the prisons and work with criminals telling me about why they committed crimes. So I kind of moved towards more of an administrative role, an education around administration with the MPA instead of continuing on with forensic psych. So I've been in social services for about 23 years, and I've kind of run the gamut of different classifications of social services. So I started off with case management, and then I moved into I worked for a nonprofit contracted by Amtrak, and we worked with the normal people and people living in the subways and the trains. And I did that for a long time, and that's where I got my master's. And then from there, I was director at a family shelter for a while. And then I moved to the city, and I worked for the city of New York as an auditor for the campaign finance.
Okay.
And I've just been kind of jumping around.
Yeah.
I worked for the Department of Homeless Services for a long time, and
but all
Human Resources,
within the same
all
world,
within social services.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, I started working as the director at the senior center, and I realized I love working with older adults. Like, it's like people
awesome.
that love working with kids. It's like working with older, like they're just so upfront, genuine, transparent. They're going to tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. And they're just, there's no,
we should all be like
I
that.
prefer that. It just
I
makes
prefer
life
that.
easier.
So much easier.
That.
No drama.
No, I mean, there's always drama.
Well, yeah. Less drama.
There's always a little bit of drama, but it's refreshing, right?
Yeah.
To not have to try to guess and figure out, and what are they, they're very upfront and honest, and they want to enjoy life. So I realized that I love working with older adults. And when this opportunity came along, I was ready to kind of move on and do something different. I was ready to be closer to home. The commute I live in Westchester to Upper Manhattan was grueling. So I was
especially
ready.
with kids.
Oh my gosh, especially with kids. So it was a lot. So I interviewed with River House. I learned about it, and I was like, this sounds like an amazing program that I could grow and build and that I could grow with. And after many interviews, I feel like I interviewed with like half of Greenwich for this position. I interviewed like the whole board, the staff. It was awesome because I really got to learn the board and meet them. And one of the deciding factors for me for taking the job was how invested they were, and how much how knowledgeable they all were. I've never met a board that was so knowledgeable and invested in a program that way.
That's good to hear.
And I was like, well, I mean, it really took me back. So I said, okay, I have to, I got to be a part of this. Yeah. So I got the position, I started, and so this New Yorker is in Greenwich now, and I'm learning the ropes.
Happy to have you.
Learning the ropes.
Well, and also how nice to know how involved the board is, because then you know that you're supported.
So I feel very supported, and it's been great because not only there's a learning curve. New York from Connecticut, a lot of the laws and requirements and standards are so different. So
Okay.
I'm learning
In what
that
way?
as I go. Just reporting requirements, the grants seem to be, the way that they're ministered seems to be a little different. The way that we interact with the fire department, the health department, permitting and inspections is a little different here. By like just the way that programs are run, it's a little different. And just it'll be something simple as like the AED, the automatic defibrillator, the way that it's tested or reviewed.
Right.
It's just a little
Right.
like things like that you have to like learn the nuances. So there's a learning curve, and just learning Connecticut and Greenwich, it's different.
It's a big place.
Different. Yeah, it's like New York is New York.
I mean, that's what we're
We
here
have
for.
the map on the wall.
We have
I know,
the map
you guys
on the
are-
wall.
you guys are helping me
The
out.
irony, though, is that that's New York.
Yeah, we're right there.
I mean,
We're right
everyone's
there.
like that's, we're closer to Rye than we are to Darien.
Yeah, everyone talks
And
about the
so-
city, and I'm like,
No,
we're
you're
right. It's right. Like it's so
Right
far
there.
away. It's like it's right there.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot of work with Fairfield and Westchester.
Yeah.
And it is one.
Fairchester, I like that.
It is one area. I
It-
mean,
yeah.
a lot of Greenwich residents have come from Rye for taxes.
Yeah,
but
taxes in Westchester. Let's not talk about it.
Right.
But it is the same area in the same group that's a suburb of Manhattan.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so
I think everything
it's
is a
we-
suburb
Very,
of
yeah.
No, in this area, totally. But I mean, in my experience, it's really funny. It's like I'm a New Yorker in Connecticut. I'm like, yeah, you moved 500 yards.
Yeah, we're going right
across
down the
Right
road.
over the border.
But let me tell you, all my friends, and I kind of grew up between the Bronx and Queens.
Yeah.
We moved, my family was from the Bronx, and we moved to Queens. And then after I graduated college, I moved back to the Bronx, and I lived there for a long time. And then when I met my husband, we moved up to Upper Manhattan. And I was like, it was just like the best kind of both worlds. We were like, I've always driven, so we would just jump in the car. We're
Yeah.
right there, and I've always loved that kind of proximity in New York. And I came to Greenwich, Connecticut, and I never realized how far everything is. My best friend moved to Bethel, and I'm like, she's like in the boonies.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you're in the boonies. You're so far away. But when I started working here, I was like, you're going to be working in Greenwich? Oh my God, how far? I was like, it's 25 minutes.
I know. Well, I went to lunch in Rye yesterday with a woman that I met through my work, and I was talking about Greenwich. She said, we don't have any reason to go to Greenwich. I said, well, we have no reason to go to Rye, but it's nice to be here.
It's nice that we're here.
But everyone laughs about how you really don't leave your town all that often unless you need to go to places where your kids have sports or
Yeah.
whatever.
The biggest, yeah.
We have all we need.
The biggest counter to
We
that
have
is
everything.
drive down Greenwich Avenue and tell me what percentage of the license plates are New York. It
90.
pulls from
90%.
We're in the same territory area.
Right.
And
I had never been to Greenwich before.
Really?
So this, like when
Okay.
I came, I think I did one, a friend of ours, I think her mom had a house here, and we came a couple of times to her house for barbecues, but I'd never really been here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So when I was like, Cos Cob, where is that? I never heard of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, where is this? Where am I going for this interview? And I was like, oh, this is so close. This is like right there. But I live in Westchester, and I feel like Westchester's a little more, distinct. Like my husband and I go to Mamaroneck for dinner all the time,
Yeah.
Right.
or we'll go to Rye, or we'll go to Larchmont, or we'll go to like everything's right. We're in the Bronx all the time, and
Right.
different
Yeah.
City Islands right by my house. Like
Bronx Zoo.
I don't mind traveling around for good eats. I like
Well,
some good eats.
yeah.
So we'll do that shopping.
And we'll travel for a good
We'll
restaurant.
travel for some food. I will travel for food. I should get a bumper sticker. And so we even now in Greenwich, I'll meet up for meetings, or we'll go to lunch places. And we went the other day to Bar Cantina.
Yep.
OMG. I have to give them a shout out because those quesadillas.
I haven't been there yet.
Well, and if you
to go.
Ubered there, if it's nighttime, I mean,
There's lots going on.
there's a lot.
There's-
The
I mean-
bar at Bar Cantina.
Oh, I haven't tried. Didn't do the bar.
Wait,
but
where is it?
It's on old.
Gosh,
Don't
we need to
ask
cut
me.
this one out.
Okay, we'll cut it out.
It's. I mean, the food.
I'll look
the
it
food
up.
was great. The
Okay, I
food
need to
was
go.
great.
That's
I was
awesome.
so impressed with that. I've never. It was like a little twist on a quesadilla, but it was delicious.
Okay, I'm into that.
So so just when I first came here, I was like, why can't I find good pizza?
well,
I'm from New York. Where's the good pizza?
Okay,
We
well,
have-
I mean
okay.
that's a big debate. I
That's
mean,
a
for me,
big
it's
one.
Glenville Pizza, which is
Greg Street
right
Pizza.
by you.
Pizza Post.
I've
Yeah.
been going to
There's-
Fairfield Pizza.
well, everyone's different.
We're not naming the names until they come and
That's
sponsor
true.
us.
They gotta
Yeah.
sponsor
I mean,
us.
especially the one you just mentioned. John can
They
open
gotta
up his
sponsor us.
checkbook.
But I'm like, I love, good pizza from New York. Everyone says,
Well,
New York
it's-
has the best pizza. And I'm like, well, so when I got here, it's so different from Washington Heights, where every corner, there's a bodega on the corner.
Yeah.
You
well,
get
it's like a
food.
bagel versus Long Island. Long Island, have friends, my brother-in-law, you come up here like, what are these bagels? But now it's getting better. It's getting a lot.
Well, we got Lenny's, which is pretty good.
We have pop-up bagels and OG bagels. Okay, so
we have good delis.
We have great delis. So we have a lot of so many great things happening in town.
Nice.
You have
It's
Louis
nice
right around the corner. That restaurant's amazing.
Oh, I've been a couple times. The food is pretty good there. Their chicken parm.
Their chicken parm is nice. So, okay, what do we have coming up at the River House by way of events and then fundraising opportunities that we can share with people?
Yes.
So this year we're trying to use this as a test year to see. We're thinking about moving away from the traditional, like the gala. We're finding that it's very difficult to find, to sell gala tickets. They're because of COVID and just the way the world is changing, everything's become so much more expensive. So in order for us to host a gala, we're spending so much more money that the tickets keep going up. And so we're finding that this kind of this new generation of sandwich kids that we talked about earlier that have moved into Greenwich during the pandemic, they have small children, they have a family, older parents. They're not necessarily going to galas. Like, they want to do stuff that they can do with their kids. If I'm going to spend $300, I have to do something with my whole family. So what we're trying to do is...
even if I'm willing to spend the money to go to a gala, I know that a massive chunk of that money is going to pay for the gala.
Yeah.
And so, if I'm going to drop $500 and I'm okay with it, I'd rather have the majority go to the cause as opposed to the event that I'm standing at.
Definitely.
And
so we've been juggling that, and kind of figuring out how can we do that. Some people really still love having galas, and others are like, well, it's not cost efficient, and what are we doing? So we've been kind of talking about that a little bit, and one of the ideas that I had was moving away from the gala, at least trying this test year to move away from the galas and move more towards just community-based events. One of the biggest issues I think River House has had is brand marketing. Nobody knows what River House. No one's been to River House.
Right.
Lindsay's coming next week. So
Lindsay,
she's
a brand marketer, has never been there.
She's gonna be there next week.
I'm going. I might go today.
Come on down. So we have.
I just want to go for beer pong. Tell me.
Come for beer pong. Oh, and anytime you want to come to volunteer to play these games.
Oh, we can do that?
Oh, yeah. Members love it, having guests and having people come and play and have fun. So we are trying to do more community-based programming and events. So we had in February, we had a green eggs and ham brunch for families, which was so much fun. I was the cat in the hat. And
did you make green eggs?
We had green eggs.
So, and that's just food dye thrown in?
We had a lot of green eggs. We had green bagels. We had just a smorgasbord of breakfast foods that were just, it was a great day. We played lots of games. We had a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
That was our first, foray into that kind of fundraising. So now our next event is on May 4th. We're having a Mother's Day sip and paint.
Okay.
So if you know anyone who is a mama and you want to treat her to something, or a grandmother or an aunt or a cousin or a stepmom or an auntie, whatever it is, a woman that or someone that you want to celebrate for Mother's Day, and you don't want to, you're tired of trying to find gifts. What do you get the person that has everything kind of thing? Give them an experience. So we are having this Mother's Day sip and paint on May 4th from 11 to 1. Our flyers on their website, and there's a QR code to link to the to purchase tickets. And we're going to have wine. We're going to do a charcuterie spread, so everyone's going to be able to make their own little charcuterie boards.
That word, my daughter. What is
how
it?
You say
word?
It's just how you say that word.
But a charcuterie. It's just a board with cheese on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it looks fancy.
These days, people are charcuterizing everything.
But isn't it just a board with
there's
cheese?
like cheap pizza ones and burger ones.
You could do anything. But yes,
it's a board with food on it.
It's
meats
a board.
and cheeses and fruits and
and just make it look pretty.
That's it.
And
it's some stupid word.
Snacks.
It's French.
It's French,
which makes it better
for snacks.
Great.
I just came back from France, and charcuterie is a very popular word. So I was learning.
I love it. I love charcuterie boards.
I love the look you're giving me right now. Yeah, Christy would be right next to me like, yeah, Dad.
Get with it.
It's a board with cheese. Fine. Call it what you want.
I'm wondering what it translates to directly.
I just want my cheese and crackers.
Cheese board, probably.
Cheese board.
Okay,
so May 4th. When is actual Mother's Day? Like May 9th?
The weekend after, I think. The Monday. I think it's on a Monday this year. Is it? Sunday, Monday. I think it's the 18th.
Okay.
So, or if you're a mom,
isn't it always a Sunday? Isn't it?
I don't
like
know.
I feel like
bad
Father's
with
Day
that.
and Mother's Day
I'm
aren't
bad with
yeah.
that. So yeah, so it's,
Because
I think it's the
stink
18th.
to be like
I'm
a
horrible.
Monday, like a work Monday. That's your day.
That's true. You're right. It's always on a Sunday. So if you want to celebrate someone,
I love it.
and get tickets for them, or if you want to treat yourself. And I'm getting tickets from my besties to celebrate them and how amazing they are, as the amazing mothers that they are, and I would like to treat them for Mother's Day and have them come.
I prefer an experience for Mother's Day to a gift. I think that, and actually we have a friend who started Mother's Day. It's basically shifting out of the mindset of buying gifts for mothers into donating, and so they've raised countless, and I'm forgetting the name in this moment, but we should have her on the show do a segment before Mother's Day, because they raise money for mothers in need. And at the end of the day, do you know Mother's Day is like a $37 billion a year?
Well, get me the info
day,
because maybe
and most of it goes to flowers.
Most of it goes to flowers and gifts, and at the end of the day, like, moms just need time off.
Yeah, they need time off.
I just want a break. Is all I
Leave the
want.
kiddies at home.
Right.
Well, give me that contact information.
I will,
because maybe we can
That's a great
sponsor
idea.
a couple of those people.
Yeah, and
to
she's
come.
local. She lives in town.
Yeah, a couple of those people to come to
and she started it with her mom. So it's
give me her contact
they've been doing
information.
it for
We'll
years.
see if
I
we
will.
can
So Mother's
comp
Day
a
is
couple
37.5
Cam is her
billion.
name.
Father's Day is what, like 100 million? It's something
The
like
golf
that.
industry gets buzzing when it's Father's Day.
Yeah,
I feel like
fair
what
enough.
else do you buy?
Fair
like,
enough.
Well, but again, that's an experience, and so we should all be gifting experiences.
I love it. No. I'm
Yeah.
totally
Or
for the
supporting.
experience.
So May 4th. What else do we have on the docket?
For now, that's right now the next event that we're scheduling in the summer and in the warmer months. We plan on doing a car wash. We're gonna do a 5 dog run.
How
so
cute.
everyone can
that I'm
actually
in for.
sponsoring
Yeah.
your dog to run in the race.
Your dog would love that.
I know.
Yeah,
And
that'd
then
be fun.
You go right to the ice cream then.
Yeah, and you can get him to solicit what is it, supporters, and we're gonna see if we get them bibs and
Okay, I got it. When is the dog run?
we
I'll
have
sign up
to
for
we have
that.
to get a date, but we're planning on doing
Yeah,
that.
keep us
We're gonna
posted.
have
That's
a kids 5K where they can run for a loved one, whether it's a
Fun.
grandparent, aunt, uncle, cousin, someone that they want to run in honor of. So we're gonna have a run. I think I said we're gonna do a car wash.
Yeah.
When it gets a little cooler, we're gonna do pumpkin carving. We're gonna do gingerbread houses. We're gonna do a Halloween ball, which I'm so excited. I love Halloween. I love a good costume.
It's the week of my birthday too.
Oh.
So I'm a big birthday person.
When's your birthday?
November 4th, but
I'm the 26th of October.
Oh, you are? Yeah.
Scorpios, baby.
Scorpio.
I'm
You're
I'm
outnumbered.
October 15th.
Are you?
So, but
Oh.
I get screwed.
You're close.
I
You're a
get
Libra.
screwed. You get a really cool one. What are they
We
called?
do. It's a good time of year to have a birthday.
Well, no,
for all of
you
us.
you get a scorpion. I have a
We do.
scale.
You gotta,
I get totally
Oh,
gypped.
yeah.
Libras get totally.
I know.
Yeah.
Ours is
They're not
tattooable.
a cool. Yeah, they're
Ours is
not a cool
tattooable.
like sign.
Well, yours is
Sorry.
all
It's not
about-
even an animal. It's a scale. We get a scale.
So it's just
like a
reminding
blind-
you balance. It's all about
Yeah.
balance.
We're all about balance.
It sucks.
All about
it
balance.
Totally sucks. Well, because you've got Leos, you've got everyone
Yeah,
right
that's
around
so cool.
you.
My
We do
son's
have
a
a
Leo.
cool-
So
And I
he's
get-
like the lion. My daughter's a Scorpio, so we got a lot of Scorpios
Ooh.
in my house. My
Double
dog,
down.
my daughter, and I are all Scorpios.
Uh-oh.
It's dangerous. It's
Well,
dangerous.
I'm
in
laughing
there.
at Lindsay
is
saying it's her
dangerous.
birthday week. Her birthday's in November. Her birthday starts
close.
technically like mid-October
I
and goes
basically
like
That's when you gotta
celebrate
until
do
like
it.
Thanksgiving.
Wait
I
until
love
I
it.
turn 50. It's going to start January 1st.
The whole
It's gonna
year.
be the entire year.
You have to make a list, like
leading
a
up to
bucket
that
God-
list for the year.
generational.
God bless
You
Seth.
should.
Right?
You should.
God
I know.
bless.
But I
should.
love Halloween. I grew up having like my mom always threw Halloween parties, and
Okay,
we
that's
were
awesome.
like that family. And
Yeah.
the street that I live on is the longest uninterrupted street in New Rochelle, and
Meaning,
Whoa.
it's just I don't know. That's what it's
Okay.
the
So-
longest.
So how many
street.
pieces of candy?
We buy at least $300 or $400 worth of candy every year because
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
a cauldron full,
Yeah.
and we get thousands of kids.
That's cool.
Coming to they come with pillowcases now to trick or treat.
So we have a street like that
That's
here,
a lot.
like right
We
around
do.
the corner from you, where
Yeah.
you live in Mar, and
it's-
every time
people come in from other towns, it's crazy.
It's insane.
every time I know somebody that moves onto that street, I like give them a heads up.
Oh yeah, you have
I'm like,
to.
here's the deal.
They warned us.
you either have
Save
to
up
shut
a couple
it
$100
down,
bucks, or get ready for your
Or
house
shut
to be
it down.
TP'd.
The police shut it down. It's closed off on both sides of the street.
Yeah.
But last year, I don't know if this is off topic, but last year, I'm on the mom's Facebook group, and one of the moms was everybody's asking, where's the good places to go to trick-or-treating? And one of the moms was like, oh, you should go to Neptune, but they're really stingy with candy. And I said, no shit. So I pulled up my sleeves, and I was like ready to start mad typing. And I was like, first of all, who said that the family's on Neptune? And first of all, there's like no kids on my street. There's like 5, and it's the longest street. Right?
and
So
you're
it's-
just doing it for everyone that comes.
and we're decorating. We're
And you're
providing
giving
all
it
this
to
candy.
10,000 kids. Of
People
course
are
I'll
coming.
give- a full Snickers bar if I have 3 people at my house.
Like,
but
how dare you? And I was like, who said that we had to provide candy for the whole of New Rochelle?
Right.
And I just went off on this post, and I was just so angry because I was like, we spent a lot of money on candy. So we try to give
and
because
time
there's
and energy.
thousands of kids. They start coming at 5 o'clock, and it's like 10 when they stop. We have to like turn off the lights and hide when we run out of candy. And I was like, how dare you?
That's
I'm
what we
so
do. We
angry.
turn off the lights
when you
and
get
hide.
new neighbors, do you warn them?
Well,
because I always feel bad for that one family that like forgot.
Didn't know. We should have warned you. When we moved in, the prior owners, they left a lot of like Halloween decorations. They were moving, downsizing, and they didn't have any place to put it. We're like, yeah, we'll take it. So we have all these skeletons.
That's awesome.
My father built coffins to decorate outside of our house when I was a kid, and we still have them. So every year I say I'm going to do like a haunted thing where I jump on and scare people, but I'm hesitant.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
How did we get to Halloween again?
I don't know.
We're going to have a Halloween ball.
Well, and can I bring that back?
Halloween
and so for your fundraising, I mean, what percent is paid for through, I guess, your clients, through the income?
None of that.
No,
so
I mean, how much do you survive off the fundraising? Like, how can we help?
We need it. We need it.
So,
it's
can people just make random donations?
Yes,
I'm assuming
yes. People can donate. We appreciate any donations that we receive, no matter the dollar amount. We operate based off of this fundraising.
And do you have like corporate sponsors too, or like a lot of anonymous?
We have a lot of foundations. We have some foundations that donate. We have a lot of grants that we apply for.
Okay.
But any donations that we can receive, any donors that want to make big donations, we have a legacy account. We have if you want to bequeath money after you've
and like Lindsay and I can help. Like, we're going to be starting to send out more information to the town and the community, and if we could send out info that's clean and simple and digestible about you, and then how to donate, because
I will send it over.
We've been talking about sort of compiling this and giving a venue where people that are interested in certain different things in the town, they can allocate their money towards them. And it gets complicated because you hear about all these different groups in the town and all these amazing things, and how do I donate, where do I donate, and you sort of get confused, and then you get invited to a big gala, and that's where your money goes. But definitely. I do have an issue with the galas because while they're amazing causes, it's not the cause. If I'm donating $500, I want you to get most of that.
Right.
I'll take my free. I'll take a hot dog and some ice cream.
Yeah, nothing
but
too
like
crazy.
I'm just
gala
trying to think,
with hot dogs and ice cream.
We should do that. I mean, it actually would be
hot dogs. The hot dog weenies. What are they called?
The little tiny ones.
I love those.
And the Whole Foods actually has the really good ones that fit though.
I love those.
Now my stomach is.
But that was
hungry.
that was kind of the premise behind why we wanted to move away from like the gala and spending so much money on an event and then netting, just barely anything or enough to cover whatever cost. But being able to do these community-based, fun events, as a mom, having young kids, I will spend money to take my kids to have an experience and do something.
Yeah.
Well,
and for them to, and then if it's for a good cause, even better. And the money that we raise at these events goes towards the operation of River House and being able for us to be able to provide services, for us to be able to provide quality meals and care and staffing and
I don't think people think about how much money it takes to run one of those events, so they only think about the ticket price. Well, yeah, it's $300 to $500 because you have to pay a laundry list of people to make that event possible. But the more community-based events are, someone just had a community-based event downtown last week. It was 3 different food places, and they had a bouncy castle for the kids. They had an entry fee. And it was so well attended. It was so community focused. And I hope that it's the first of many because everyone that went, I was working that day and couldn't go sadly, but everyone that went had the best time. Everyone was there and everyone had their kids. And it was just all about being together as a community. And that's when those conversations start to happen. So if you have this community-based event and everyone can bring their kids, and then we're talking about and learning about the River House, what you provide, where money goes, because people want, and this is literally how we started this podcast. People want to know where our first interview was with a friend who is a big philanthropist, and she was teaching us, you want to put your money where your heart goes. What pulls on your heartstrings, and if it matters to you, then you're going to want to donate. But if you don't know about it, then you're not going to want to send your money there. So that's why we're doing this.
Well, and that's where for the events, I think it's also important to convey where the money is going. Like if it's a $500 ticket, everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's so much." Well, if you tell me that $50 is going to the event and $450 is going to you,
right?
I feel so much better about that.
To do it,
and that's where we know it costs money to run events. So like, there's not. But if you're like, look, of this, you're sponsoring 8 people for a week or whatever it is.
Right.
I always feel better paying bigger event tickets if I know the money's going towards where I'm trying to have it go.
I think that's
and so like the stuff that you're talking about, that's sort of, I assume, low barrier to entry as far as running a shuffleboard contest or something.
It's not, we're not spending a lot on whatever it is, where the cost of running the event is not high, so whatever profit we make or whatever from tickets, it can actually go to River House,
right? And then like the certain
awesome.
places that it goes within,
and showcase that, because that's where I think you can raise the prices. Ironically, I think you can say that, like, here's a $200 ticket for a dog run or something, and only 90% is going to the River House. Like, people want to donate.
Yeah,
and
they do.
I just get confused with the events because I really don't like the idea of paying for the event, but I
want to
pay. I want to make sure you're getting what you need.
Right. I feel the same way, and I think that's the reason why we're doing this as a test year for us. It's just right now about how to market these events, which I found was kind of difficult. My first time at bat for Green Eggs and Ham, we were like, what websites who can we share this with? Who can we get the information out to? Who's gonna like help us spread the word? So we're hoping that this second event, and as we come,
we're here to spread word.
We could talk about that.
Well, no, and as we get your calendar through the year, send us the stuff. We'll make sure it gets to the community. And
tag us on anything.
I will.
And
we're trying to do such great things, and I want to make sure that we're able to continue to do those great things.
Well, it's one thing to do the great things, and it's another thing entirely to amplify it to the community, because that's a job in itself. So, you're here now. Once you sit in this chair, we will be on board with supporting whatever you do.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank you so much for all of your time and energy this morning.
It's a lot of fun.
So fun.
I feel like
we love. I love it. Friday's my favorite day.
And it's Friday. So
it's Friday.
This is so fun.
Yeah, we're just so grateful that you took the time to do this and to share everything about River House and your experience, because it's really inspiring.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you everyone who's out there in the world listening. Thanks for tuning in. Building Greenwich will be back next week. I'm Lindsay Potter, your
Scott Elwell.
You're Dee Hernandez. And we're grateful that you tuned in. Have a great weekend.
Great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Building Greenwich, and thanks for being here with us today. We're just so excited to be sharing valuable information with our community. So there are ways that you can get in touch with us. Follow us online, Instagram at Building Greenwich. The podcast episodes in full will be posted to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Scott, what's a way that anyone can get in touch if they're interested in being on the show?
Everything's going to funnel through Greenwich CT, so info@greenwichct.com. It's a good email us or comment, like, share, and you can reach out to us on Instagram.
Thank you again. We'll see you soon.
Bye.